to RC Truth Media. We are in a time of new changes, okay? Coming about is a new system, weather changes, money changes, system changes all around. First article I want to talk about today comes from Zero Hedge. Douche bank tumbles to new record lows and it drags the European banks behind. There's systemic fears in global markets. They reemerged this morning. They've been, matter of fact, didn't reemerge. There's been global systemic fears, let's face it. When, in addition to ongoing concern about trade wars, which drag Chinese stocks deeper into a bear market, we are now in a bear market. As the yuan fell for the 10th consecutive day, now there are European banks to also worry about. This is all around the world. We have to worry about the banking system with the United States upping the amount it's cost for its debt because we are a debt-based system. They're lowering the liquidity amount, which means they're not giving credit like they used to. It costs more for the credit now, and so this is going to drop stocks. It's going to raise the dollar, which I'll show you what that is doing right here. And this article, also from Zero Hedge, details how stocks are dropping as the dollar is spiking right here. Dow Jones rose much earlier in the day and has now cut roughly half of those gains as the market scrambles to figure out just what Trump's real position is on how much the market really has to drop for Trump to relent. I don't think he's going to relent. I think he's going to go through. If China does not do something about the trade deficit, then he will follow through. Okay, I do have a feeling about this. The Trump administration wants its trade war cake and to eat all-time highs in the S&P too. Earlier today, the S&P spiked after the Trump administration appeared to relent, offering Beijing an olive branch by agreeing not to use new harsh methods to halt China's investments. However, we could see here from Kulo, Trump is not retreating on China. Kulo says U.S. economy is growing while China's not doing well. We'll see what happens, bud, because China has a lot of um, our money over there. Okay, they have a bunch of the dollar in the world reserve currency, and they not only that, they have our treasuries as well. They have a bunch of United States treasuries. Okay, and so they could take us out if they wanted to, like that. What else is going on? Yes, the dollar is losing its status as a world reserve currency. This is the main news of the day. Economists have predicted that the international financial system in the next decade will have changed significantly as the United States dollar loses its reserve currency status. Aggressive foreign economic policy and the huge U.S. national debt have led to de-dollarization in the world, and in reversing the trend could prove difficult in the long term. Yes, I don't think they're going to reverse the trend anytime soon. I do think Trump wants to get rid of the dollar based system. He wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Okay? Um, Everybody needs to take a look at the 1996 white paper detailed by the NSA, the National Security Agency, detailing how we are going to be going into a crypto system. Okay? I believe it's titled How to Make a Crypto System. Okay? And here it says, I'll put a link for that as well. So it says here, with 70% of all transactions in the world trade being in the United States dollar, 20% in euros, and the rest is shared by Asian currencies, in particular the Chinese yuan. In March, China dealt a powerful blow to the dollar in the global energy market, opening a trade in oil futures for yuan, the third most important currency in the IMF fund basket, and the attempt was crowned with absolute success. While the dollar is used as the currency of the contract for the trade in raw materials, the yuan may well push it out of one of the fastest growing oil markets in the world. And it's not just about hydrocarbons. In the bilateral trade relations of the largest financial partners, Moscow and Beijing, the dollar has less space, Last year, China's share in Russian international trade reached 15% in 2018, according to forecasts. This figure will grow to 17%, but the role of the dollar in the calculations will only weaken. Russian-Chinese agreements on direct trade for rubles and yuan came into force as early as December 2014. Such payments do not imply the participation of US, UK, or UE branches. Consequently, the financial systems of Russia and China are increasingly less dependent on third countries. In April, Iran abandoned the American currency and transferred all international settlements in the euro. The dollar in Iran is already out of the question. Traders prefer alternative currencies for their transactions. Iran is paid in euros for black gold by India, and in this country the economy is growing rapidly and more energy is required. Turkey also plans to abandon the dollar and has already switched to mutual settlements in the national currency with Iran. The fact that Russia will join them soon cannot be ruled out. According to the Russian Energy Ministry, Alexander Novak, the government is considering the possibility of settlements for oil and national currencies, especially with Turkey and Iran bypassing the US dollar. Turkey reduced dependence on the dollar, buying up gold on the world market, according to the World Gold Council. Last year, the Turkish Central Bank purchased 187 tons of gold, becoming the second largest sovereign buyer of it after Russia. Like other countries, Turkey did not keep all of its gold part, ingots weighing 28.7 tons, deposited in American Federal Reserve System. Now Ankara has taken everything out by placing gold reserve in the depositories on the territory of the country, as well as Switzerland and England banks. Outflow of gold from the Federal Reserve, which began in 2014, continues almost without interruption. The reasons are obvious: the growth of the rates of the Federal Reserve System, the pressure on the euro and the other currencies provided by the United States, the strengthening of geopolitical risks. The world seeks to reduce dependence on the dollar. According to the forecasts of the World Bank, the dollar will cease to play a major role in the world financial system. It will be replaced by a system of three currencies: the euro, the dollar, and most likely the yuan. It is worth remembering that the dollar as a world reserve currency replaced in 1944 by the British pound. The UK accumulated excessive debts and the pound collapsed. That's exactly what we're doing right now in the United States. The debt of the U.S. has already exceeded $20 trillion and is growing steadily, but the printing press continues to work. As the well-known investor Jim Rogers pointed out at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, that is why the American currency is less attractive on the market. According to his estimates, the dollar will lose the status of the world currency by 2030, or sooner, in my bet. We don't have that much longer for sure. Right now, I just seen today also from Zero Hedge that guess which country is using cryptocurrency to bypass the dollar? Iran. That's right. Go check that out as well. They could be using Bitcoin, and it tells that in an article from Zero Hedge from today, and I'll put that in the link as well. Thank you for coming to my channel today. Please like and subscribe, donate if it's possible, and you have a blessed day.